Welcome to the problem-solving applications. I know there's a blur here. Might be a little bit hard to read, but it's applications of linear equations. Okay. So what are applications? Applications are basically word problems. Okay. Don't turn off the video yet. I know word problems is hatred among the math student community, but after this video, hopefully they won't be so bad. Okay. So, let's just jump right in. Now I'm going to do this video a little differently because these are word problems, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't want to be writing paragraphs up on the board. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it out loud, and you'll see the problem on the screen somewhere. I'll edit the video later, and the words will be like somewhere around here. Okay? Alright, with that being said, let's just jump into number one. We have a good 7 problems or so to get through. And some formulas. Alright, so let's do this. Number 1. Okay, we're going to start off relatively simple. Okay, so number 1 says 3 more than twice a number is 6. Okay, and what it wants us to do, it wants us to transcribe this into, math. Into math, who would have guessed, right? So, with that being said, what you got to do is you have to very carefully analyze the sentence, okay? And you have to find out the key phrases here. Now, 3 more than twice a number. Let's start with that. 3 more than twice a number. Now, twice a number just means 2 times a number. Whenever you hear something like a number, it means x. It means x or n or a or z, whatever you want to call it. It just means the variable that we don't know. That's why they call it a number. Okay? So, it says 3 more than twice a number. So, we know twice a number means 2x. Okay? Well, it says in the beginning 3 more than that. So, 3 more means you're going to add 3 to that. So this is 3 more than twice a number. Now, the next part says is 6. Is means equals. Okay? And it equals 6. So, 3 more than twice a number is 6. Okay? And that's how you would write it. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Alright. Oh, my eraser's over here. Alright. Okay, so on to the next one. This is a long one. Richard's vegetable garden is in the shape of a rectangle. Whenever you hear that, draw a picture, okay? Most of us are visual people, at least I know I am. I need to see a picture. So we know that apparently I have a garden and it's in the shape of a rectangle. So just come over here, draw a rectangle. He can enclose it with 80 feet of fencing. Okay, enclosed. What that means is it means the outside of this rectangle. For instance, if you walked from this corner here all the way around, boom, you would have walked 80 feet. Okay? So in other words, what that is that's what's called the perimeter. Okay? The perimeter, we'll just call that P, is, in this case, 80 feet. Oops, not 8 feet. 80 feet. Okay? If the length of his garden is 10 more than 2 times the width, okay? So this is kind of like the problem we just did, okay? So let me read that one more time. The length of his garden is 10 more than 2 times the width, okay? So 2 times the width is 2w, and it says it's 10 more than that. So it's plus 10. Find the dimensions of the garden. So when you have, for instance, it says the length is in terms like this, and you have a W in here, you're always just going to make your other side just that letter there. So this represents our length. This is length, and this is width. Okay? So our length is 10 more than 2 times the width. That's our length. And then our width is just W. Now, it says, find the dimensions of my garden. Okay? With that being said, what do dimensions mean? Dimensions mean find the length and find the width. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to relate what they gave us. They gave us the perimeter, and they gave us some information here. Our length, and we know our width is W. So what you have to do is you relate all the information they gave you. Well, the perimeter of basically any object, what that means is you're just going to add up all the sides. Okay, you're going to add them all up. So if this side here is W, you know this side is W. If this is 2W plus 10, you know up here is 2W plus 10. So what you're going to do is you're going to add all of that up, and it should equal 80. So let's write that. So we got W plus 2W plus 10 plus W plus 2W plus 10 again, and that is going to equal 80 feet. And now you just start combining like terms, and we'll solve for W. So how many W's do we have? We have 1 W here, 2 here, that's 3. This makes a 4th, and this makes 6 W. So if you add up all the W's, we have 6 W's. So we dealt with all of those. So now you can combine these numbers here, this 10 and this 10 here. 10 plus 10 is 20, and that equals 80, okay? Now we just finished solving this guy like a normal linear equation. So you're going to subtract 20, boom. 6W is going to equal 80 minus 20 is 60. Then what you do is you just divide the 6 out to get W by itself. And W is going to equal, how many times is 6 going to 60? 10 times. So it's 10 feet. So our width, we found our width. Our width is 10 feet, but we got to find our length. Now remember, our length is 2W plus 10. So to find your length, what you do is, I'll do it up here. Your length is going to equal 2W plus 10. You just take the W you found, the width, and plug it in. So L equals 2 times 10 plus 10. 2 times 10 is 20 plus this 10. 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 feet. Boom. So my garden has a width of 10 feet and a length of 30 feet. Alright? And that's how you do that. Now, before we continue, we're going to need to go over some formulas. And there's quite a bit of formulas. We're not going to use them all in this video, but they are important to know, you know, for your notes, etc. So, I'm just going to have the formulas pop on the screen right now. You guys ready for this? Alright, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now that you know the formulas, they should be in your notes, okay? Let's go on to the next problem, number 3. Alright. An isosceles triangle, should be in your notes, has a perimeter of 28 centimeters. So we're going to draw a triangle here. Boom. and it has a perimeter, P equals 28 centimeters. The third side, okay, so remember what an isosceles triangle is. What it means is two of the sides, at least two of the sides are the same, okay? So we're just going to say this side is x and this side is also x because they have to match. So they're both the same, so we'll just call them x. And now it says the third side is 2 centimeters shorter than each of the sides that have equal lengths. It's 2 centimeters, I don't even know what I said. 2 centimeters shorter than each of the sides that have equal length. So what does that mean? Well, if it's 2 centimeters shorter than the sides, it's going to be x minus 2. It's 2 centimeters shorter than the sides, okay, that have equal length. Now it says find the length of the three sides. So it wants to know how long this side is, and this side. So we got the perimeter, we got some stuff, let's put it together. Now, what does perimeter mean? Okay, again, you just add up all the sides. So you got x plus x minus 2 plus this side here, x, should equal 28, because that is our perimeter. So you just start combining some stuff. We have an x, an x, and an x here. So we have 3 x's, 3x, cross those off. Take this 2 down here, equals 28. And now you just finish solving it. So you're going to add 2 to both sides here. Boom. So we have 3x equals 28 plus 2 is 30. Just divide out this 3. And we have x equals, how many times is 3? Going to 30 here is going to be 10. So we know x is 10 centimeters, which is nice because that's side 1 and side 2. But what's side 3? Well, side 3, I'll just call it x sub 3 here, for side 3 I guess, is x minus 2, right? I'm just rewriting this here. You're just going to take your x that we just found, and you're going to plug it in. So we have 10 minus 2, which we know is 8 centimeters. So this is 10 centimeters, this side is 10 centimeters, and this side is 8 centimeters. And there you go. Those are the sides of a triangle. All right. Are you liking these applications of linear equations? So it's kind of cool because I mean, you know, you may not be finding the sides of a triangle anytime soon, but if you're ever on Jeopardy and they ask you how do you find the perimeter of a triangle, it's $1 million question. You know, you can thank me later. All right. All right. Number 4. I'm going to change my marker out here. This one's getting kind of dull. Hopefully this one works a little bit better. There we go. All right. It says the sum, okay, sum means adding. The sum of 3 consecutive integers, okay, consecutive means right after one another, like 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, like that's what it means to be consecutive. And it says 3 consecutive integers is 67. Find them, okay? Very demanding question. It's just find them. Let's do what the problem says. All right, so the sum of 3 consecutive integers. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the first integer that we don't know what this integer is. The first one, we're just going to call it x, okay? Then it says 3 consecutive integers, okay? Consecutive again, right after another. So we're going to have to write 3 three different, expressions here representing those consecutive numbers. So what we're going to do is if our first one is x, our second one has to be x plus 1, and our third one has to be x plus 2. Okay? Because if these are going to be consecutive, the second number has to be 1 more than this one, and the third number here is going to have to be 2 after that one. So for instance, if x was 3, 3 plus 1 would be 4, 3 plus 2 would be 5. So it would be 3, 4, 5. You see how this is working out? So it says, we got those guys, and it says, is 87. So it says the sum of this is going to equal 87. So what you're going to do is you're just going to add these up, just like a normal problem. You have 1, 2, 3x plus 2 plus 1 is 3. All we did was add them up, okay? And it says the sum of those is 87. So it equals 87. And now what you do is you just solve it like you guys all know how to do. So minus 3, 3x equals, what is that, 84? Okay, and then we got to divide both sides by 3. Okay, so x is going to equal, now how many times does 3 go into 84? So what I would do is, if you can't do that in your head, just go over here and do it off to the side. 84. So how many times does 3 go into 8? 2 times, 6. Minus that, you get 2. Bring down the 4 is 24. How many times does 3 go into 24? 8 times, okay? And then 24, root of the remainder 0. So it goes in 28 times. So x is 28. So that's our first number, okay? So what you would do now, to find the second number, you just plug it into here. To find the third number, you plug it into here. So since we know they're all consecutive, it's going to have to be 28, 29, and 30. Those would be our answers. So the three consecutive numbers that the sum is 87 would be 28, 29, and 30. Now how could we check that? How do we know that that's true? Simply just go add them up. So we have 30, 29, and 28. Let's add them up. 0 plus 9 is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. Ooh, we got our 7, right? And you add this up, you got 1 plus 3 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 87. So we're happy. This guy checks out. And we can feel pretty confident in our answers, okay? Cool. Just keep chugging away here. For number 5. All right. Whew. Michelle drove her car at a rate of 70 miles per hour from her home to Visalia. Her mother, Rosa, Rosa, made the same trip at a rate of 90 miles per hour, and it took her 2 hours less than Michelle to make the same trip. How far is it from Michelle's house to Visalia? Okay, again, I like pictures. So we're going to draw Michelle's house. She lives in a mushroom, I guess. All right, so we got a little window, a little door. So this is Michelle's house, okay? She lives here. And Michelle is, she's a happy person. She has her own house and I don't know. So she gets in her car and she's gonna drive. This is her car, pretty successful. She has a box car. She goes this way to Visalia. Visalia is over here. I don't know what Visalia looks like. So this is Visalia. Okay? So Michelle, I'm going to put a big M on this since that's for Michelle, because there's going to be another car here which is going to be Rosa. So we'll make that an R. Okay? So Michelle, she's going 70 miles per hour. Okay? Her mother, Rosa, made the same trip at a rate of 90 miles per hour. So I'm pretty sure, call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure these ladies here are speeding. So, but I won't tell. Okay? So it took her 2 hours less than Michelle, obviously, because she's going super fast. So it took her 2 hours less. Okay? So if we call the time spent for Michelle, because we don't know how long it took her. All we know is it took her some amount of time. So we're just going to call that T. And if it took Rosa 2 hours less, it's going to take her, whatever it took Michelle, T, but minus 2 hours. Okay? How far is it? Okay, whenever we're talking about distance and speed, okay, that's your tip-off. Distance, speed, and time. You have a formula that is distance equals rate times time. Okay? The distance you travel equals how fast you're going times how long it takes. Makes pretty logical sense, right? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna erase Visalia here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna basically have two equations here. Okay? For distance Michelle, I'll put a little M here for Michelle's distance. The rate is 70, and the time we had said is just T. For Rosa here, we're going to say distance R is going to equal 90, but times T minus 2 because it took her 2 hours less than Michelle here. Okay, now this is the trick to the problem here. From her house to Visalia, the distances are the same. I mean, if you go from there to Visalia, you know, the distance is going to be the same, assuming, you know, you take the same route. Okay? With that being said, what you do, these two distances here, the distance Michelle drove and the distance that Rosa drove, are exactly the same. So what you can do is you just set these two things equal to each other. So you have 70t equals, because the distances are the same, 90 times t minus 2. Okay? With that being said, you just solve it now. So we have 70t equals, we're going to distribute the 90, so we have 90t minus 90 times 2 is going to be 180. Okay? Now we have a t, something with a t over here, something with a t over here. You're going to subtract this over. So we have negative 90t on both sides. So 70t minus 90t will be negative 20t, which will equal negative 180. Now, we have a negative over here and a negative over here. I'm just going to make them both positive. And then you're just going to divide by 20 to solve for t. Boom. So we have t is equal to, well, I don't know if you know this zero trick, but if you have zeros that line up like that, you can just cancel those guys off. So we really have like 18 over 2, which is much easier simplified. 18 over 2 is 9. Okay? So the time took 9 hours. Okay? Apparently they live pretty far away from Visalia. So we're done, right? Wrong. Why are we wrong? Because it says how far is it from Michelle's house? We got the time it takes, but we do not have the distance. Now what you do is you go back to this formula here, okay? And now we're looking for distance. Distance is going to equal, you can just, remember the distance is the same, okay? So it doesn't matter which formula you use. You can use this one, 70 times t, or 90 times t minus 2. This one is going to be simpler. So you have 70 times RT, which is 9 hours, okay? And 70 times 9 is going to be, what is that? It's going to be 630, I believe, miles, okay? And just to make sure, 70 times 9, 0 times 9 is 0, 7 times 9 is 63. There you go. So the distance from Michelle's house to Visalia is 630 miles, okay? So there you go. Make sure you have that in your notes. That was a pretty tricky problem. All right, we got a couple more to do, and we'll call it there. Oh, I'm on the next page. Okay. Number 6. One number is 6 more than twice a second number. If the sum of the two numbers is 66, find the two numbers, okay? So we're going to call our first number just x, okay? Because we don't know what the first number is, and we don't know what the second number is either, but we're going to write an expression for that. So the first number, we're just going to call it x. And then it says one number, so the next number is 6 more than twice a second number. So we're going to have 2x, because it's twice the second number, and it's plus 6, because it's 6 more than that. So our first number, how should I put that? I guess I'll just put first. Our first number, and this is our second number, okay? Because one number is 6 more than twice the second number, okay? And then it says the sum of those two numbers is 66. So again, you're just going to take these two things and you're just going to add them up, okay? We have an x here and you have two x's here. That'll add up to 3x. We just have plus 6 here. Make that look a little bit better. Plus 6. The sum of that is 66. And it says find the two numbers. Okay, so now we just solve for x. So you're going to minus 6. You're going to minus 6. So we have 3x equals 66 minus 6 is 60. Divide over by 3. Kill that guy. How many times does 3 go into 60? It goes in 20 times, okay? So we know our first number is 20. Now we just gotta find our second number. And the second number, 2x plus 6, you just plug in the x you found. 2 times 20 plus 6, 2 times 20 is 40, plus our 6 here, 40 plus 6 is 46. And that is our second number. So our first number is 20, and our second number is 46. Okay, so remember, our first number we just called x, and the second number you found with, with this expression. One number is 6 more than twice the second number, okay? And since it said the sum of them, you add them up, and the sum is means equals 66. Solve it, and you're golden. All right, one more. All right, and this one deals with money. And I know most people like money, so it's a pretty good problem. Belinda has nickels and dimes. Okay, it's not a lot of money. Belinda has nickels and dimes in her pocket. She has 7 more dimes than nickels. If Belinda has $5.35 in her pocket, how many nickels and dimes does she have? Well, that's a good question. So again, we're going to have to change this paragraph into terms we can solve, okay? So she has nickels and she has dimes. Nickels and dimes. She has 7 more dimes than she does nickels. So if nickels, we're just going to call that N, okay? It says she has 7 more dimes, okay? So what that means is your dimes you can represent as N plus 7. Because, for instance, if she has 5 nickels, well, she'll have 7 more than that in dimes. It would be 5 plus 7, and that would be how many dimes she has, okay? Because she has 7 more dimes than nickels. And she has a total of $5.35. How many nickels and dimes does she have? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to relate, again, you're going to have to use this information and put it into an equation that we can solve, okay? So nickels, we know, are 5 cents. Okay, nickels are 5 cents. So a way to represent nickels would be 0.05. Okay, dimes are 10 cents. So that could be 0.10. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to say 0.05 N, because if you have 10 nickels and you multiply that by 0.05, that'll tell you how much money you have, okay? Plus 0.10 times N plus 7, okay? Because however many dimes she has, multiply that by 0.10, 10 cents, and that'll tell you how much money you have. So how much money she has in nickels plus how much money she has in dimes should equal the total amount, $5.35, okay? And that is how we relate all the information they gave us. And we just solve it, okay? So we have 0.05 N plus, you're going to distribute this 0.10, so you have 0.10 N plus 0.10 times 7 is going to be 0.70. It's going to equal 5.35. Okay? You're going to combine like terms here. Excuse me. And so what you can do, if you can't do that in your head, you're just going to go 0.10 plus 0.05. Okay? Bring down the decimal here. When you're adding decimals, the decimals have to be lined up. 0 plus 5 is 5. 1 plus 0 is 1, so you get 0.15. So you have 0.15 N plus 0.70 equals 5.35. Now we're going to have to subtract 0.70 over. Subtract 0.70, and we have 0.15 N equals, so you're going to subtract this, 5 minus 0 is 5, you're going to have to borrow for this one, so it becomes a 4, that becomes a 13, 13 minus 7 is 6, it's 4.6, bring down the decimal, okay? You're gonna bring down the decimal, and then you just got 4 here, okay? And then divide by 0.15, divide by 0.15, and that will give you your n. Okay, and you're gonna have to divide this by hand, but I'm gonna cheat. So, if you don't know how to divide decimals, I have a video on that, so go back and watch that. I'm just gonna, I think this video is getting pretty long, so I'm just gonna do this in my handy dandy pink calculator, okay? So we got 4.65 divided by 0.15. We're gonna push enter, and lucky for us, it comes out to be exactly 31, okay? Which makes sense, because you can't really have, you know, half a nickel or something. It has to come out an even number. Or I shouldn't say an even number, it has to come out to a whole number, because you can't have a partial amount of nickels. So we have 31 nickels. To find dimes, you just add 7 to it. So dimes would be your nickels plus 7. So 31 plus 7, which is 38. So she has 31 nickels in her pocket, and she has 38 dimes. One thing that I should add to these word problems is typically with word problems, you want to answer in a sentence. If the problem is in sentences, you want to answer in sentences. So you might write something, for instance, if this was a test or something, you might write at the end, Belinda has 31 nickels and 38 dimes in her pocket. Something like that, okay? Well, I'm going to close this video here, and this was applications of linear equations. If you like this video and you like all the rest of our videos, please subscribe and comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.